In all types of genre, there is always something that ties it all together. So, for example, they all have links and features that you can all see in these films. These can be blood, death, victims, villains, haunted house, evil, and ghosts. When choosing my genre, I put a lot of thought into thinking about who my type of audience was going to be and what they would like to watch the most. The reason I chose the genre horror was that when I was starting to plan for there was a big interest in horror films, such as Paranormal Activity, and it's been quite popular as there is 3 of them, so people must want to watch them over and over. My final decision was made from asking my target audience what they liked the most and what films they like to go and see in the cinema. A horror trailer has many different conventions, and I found that most of these conventions used were screaming, pace rapid possessing, creepy music, dark set, and all the institutional information at the end. The subgenre I needed to decide which subgenre I was going to use in my trailer, as there is many within the genre horror. I considered slash, teen terror, killers and ghosts, and they're all different, but the reason I chose ghost horror was that at the time, and still even there's not actually quite a lot of them if you research. So this sub-genre involves someone being followed by someone or something that isn't there, and the main character getting stalked, but there isn't any blood or violence. Well, there is kind of a bit of violence, but not a lot. The difference between my ghost horror and previous ghost horrors is that having done and looking at all the others, they involve young children and families. However, mine only involved teenagers. The film didn't have any my film doesn't have any males in it, and it's based in a traditional modern house. With the others I've seen, the bad character is always pretty much a male, but mine's going to be a female. This kind of challenges the conventions of I felt I followed the conventions of a teaser trailer, as I didn't want to give too much of the film away, and I wanted to leave the audience wanting to see it. The 3 main shots that I used in my trailer, as you can see on the screen now, are medium shots, wide shots and close-up shots. My trailer has an overvoice, and it is also followed by music, which is a typical teaser trailer. However, a lot of the trailers that I researched had a lot more speech in them than mine, and I feel that this makes the trailer more intense. But the music was very loud and got faster as the trailer went on. Another convention is that with a lot of the trailers, the pace gets faster and the trailer goes on and on and on, which mine does exactly the same. And I felt this is how to make the trailer more intense and make people want to go and watch it. The trailer doesn't follow the 5 stages of My trailer doesn't follow the 5 stages of Todorow's theory, which is a classic narrative pattern. The narrative starts off with a calm period, and then my trailer in the story starts off with a calm period, but the 4 girls having a laugh and gossip in the bedroom. Then Todorow's theory states that there's a period of unsettlement caused by agents of disruption. For example, mine is when the girls are convinced that Bloody Mary isn't true, and the tension builds when they start playing the game. And this is where Todorow's theory twists a bit. He says that it is a renewal stage and peace and harmony for the main character, but my trailer, however, demonstrates the complete opposite. It demonstrates more of a disquilibrium because of the fact that Bloody Mary will not leave the girls alone, and the trailer ends on a cliffhanger. So as you can see on the screen now, there's a picture of my poster, and I researched into looking at all these posters and compared it to the ones that I found. As you can see now, the Paranormal Activity poster is the only one with no institutional information on it. However, there was only one image which I did also, and the titles and the tagline of the trailer were both in big and bold colours. The colours were the same. I chose a red and black background, as this kind of relates to a horror genre anyway. So the conventions of a horror poster is a centred main picture, cold colours, red writing and black background. Obviously, as you can see, my horror poster is the same, black background, red writing and a centre picture. On the screen now is my poster annotated around it. So the annotations just say that the background connotates evilness and fear and gives a hint of what the audience want the characters to be about, and the girls' faces stand out really well. My poster is a portrait, which is a typical convention of a film poster. However, I did consider doing the poster landscape and challenging the conventions of a film poster, but I felt that it didn't look right as I played around with it. The tagline is also in red at the bottom of the poster. The title is in red, contrasting the black background, and it's a similar way to the other horror movie titles that have been styled on the poster. The image on the poster is in the centre, and it shows how scared the girls' faces are and relates to horror film. I have shown all the small print of the institutional information at the bottom of the poster, just like other film posters that you've seen. So this is my magazine front cover, and for this I created mostly, I followed the conventions of a real media product, and the research that I found out are that magazines names are usually at the top of the page and are very clear. Usually they're behind the main image, and the image on the front is usually targeting a certain audience. So this uses the colour scheme that matches, the font, several different sizes, several different cover stories around the main image, and there is a price, date and barcode on the front. As you can see on the screen now, this is mine and both Empire magazine, and they're quite similar, to be fair. The front cover has the main image following the convention patterns of other magazines. The storyline spreaded around the main image follows the convention patterns of other magazines. The cover lines, the title of the magazine is behind the main image, and they're quite neutral colours, for example, which is the white. I wanted my magazine to look really professional as possible as I could, to go along with the same conventions, and I felt that I achieved a really good looking magazine front cover. As you can see, I've annotated around my magazine front cover. I've just said that I've added headings to my magazine, which is called A-list. It's really big and bold, and it draws the reader and grabs their attention. The writing on the magazine consists of red, black and white, and it fits well within the rest of the colour scheme and connotates blood and evilness. The winter preview in the bold colour, which grabs the reader's attention and makes them want to read it. It focuses on new films that will be available for people to go and see in the cinema. So looking at my image of Bloody Mary, it is easy to distinguish the genre of the film. Looking at the white face and the gothic makeup and blood all over her chest. Her eyes are wide open and her makeup looks really evil, and the splash of blood on her mouth suggests evilness. The cover stories on the magazine give readers what is going to be inside the magazine, and there is also a barcode, issue date, price at the bottom of the magazine so that the audience knows all the information. So for this question, I answered this. The two ancillary texts and my main product all worked well together, and it created a realistic film. The horror conventions are within all my products and reflect those of real media products. The two print-based texts, my magazine and my front cover, and my film poster, both were completely different, however did connect. Where there was different characters used on my main image on both of the auxiliary texts, as I decided to focus on the attention of just one character on my magazine and the rest of the cast on the poster. However, maybe using the same character on both print-based texts would have made it more memorable to the audience. A majority of the texts, of the font, were read on both of the two products, which were the conventions of a horror poster and a magazine. The use of lighting throughout my project was all quite dark, as with the film being a horror, I made sure that there was connection throughout. So, also with the fact that it was a dark night helps create the spooky light, as it creates a lot of shadows. The main tagline I used throughout my task, except for the magazine, when researching, there never seemed to be a tagline used on a magazine. The tagline was continuous all the way through. The ancillary tasks, along with my main product, were all aiming to promote the film, which is the main purpose of this task. The three things throughout maintaining the same genre, which is horror, and after researching into a real media product and their conventions, I'm able to stick to the horror convention. When producing my final product, I wanted there to be a connection between the elements of the trailer and poster to the audience so they can link the two. The main element shared between the poster and the trailer is the colour theme. The two main colours were black and red. For all through text, I chose a font that was bold and clear, and it stands out, therefore not to appeal to too sophisticated, but to appeal to a teenage audience. So overall, in my opinion, the trailer and the poster and the magazine front cover are all commonly linked to follow the same conventions. So to give an insight of what my viewers would think about my media product and determine whether the product is understood in the way that which I wanted it to be, and therefore I can match the audience's ideas and ideas I aim to achieve. So for example, when I was able to establish whether the target audience and the genre were easily recognised, therefore showing the successful and how the product was, and aiming it to fit in that genre category which it fits into, it was perceived to my target audience that teenagers, mainly females, of around 15 years, which is right. This came to my conclusion because of the teenager actors, the setting of the girly bedroom in the modern house, and the editing. So these conventions are typical teenage movies, and so the trailer can be easily recognised, and as it's aimed at teenagers and their audience, for the topic of the sleepover and the iconic so I asked 6 questions, so 2 on each, so 2 on my magazine, 2 on my poster and 2 on my film. And for my target audience to answer, I asked around 20 people, and this is my survey. The website is on the screen now, which you can click on, and it will take you to my results. But as you can see on the screen now, there's the results of my questionnaire. So most people thought that it was a horror for the poster, and for the poster it also, the most thing that gave the genre away was the tagline, which was really great. And just for the magazine, looking at my film magazine, it looked like it was promoting a horror film. And also for my magazine, the age group that would be attracted to this magazine was 15 to 25, which I was really thrilled about. This was just for the trailer, and I said, do you think that the trailer could be a film? And most people said yes. And just for the trailer again, I put, would you go and see this film because of the cheese trailer? And more than no, put yes. I also asked students at my school if they thought I needed to have any improvements, and I got these answers. One said no improvements. One said that the music needed to have better transitions and should be creepy sound effects added. The plot needed to make more sense. More music should be added. It was really good. The build pace more. Clips needed to connect better. So this feedback really helped me, and after studying my results, I learned that overall my products are fitting the genre horror, and they're following all the right conventions. My target audience said that the link between the titles and the tagline were very clear and obvious, which was a really good point for me because I really wanted that to be quite out there. Overall, I got some really positive feedback, and I'm very pleased as the effect I had aimed for was understood and recognised. So for the last question, the media technologies played a very important role in planning and the production of my coursework, as this makes up the whole thing. So the planning and research, I set up my own website, which you can see on the screen now. And when doing this, I did my own research and then I posted it on the website. Researching existing film posters and film trailers, as well as my magazine front covers. For example, Paranormal Activity Empire magazine, and I used Google for all these, which really helped. And I saved all the images, and then I uploaded them to a Word document and analysed them. And this was in preparation for my own work to be produced. The film trailer was, there was loads of film trailers found on YouTube and the website IMDb, where I found loads of trailers matching my genre of products, and then analysed them to put into another Word document. Once all this research has been done, I have them posted Word document onto my website, so then it can be accessed by people who want to see it. it can be opened up, and then I had to draw my storyboard of my film trailer, and I put all the dialogue in it, and then I again scanned it into the computer and saved it as an image, and then later added it to my website as proof of what I've planned. All the research and planning was saved onto a website called www.wix.com, which you can see on the screen now. The construction of my work was, for the trailer, was that I used a video camera to record all the footage I needed, and the camera was used to create different angles and shots for my film. All of the footage had been taken. I used the USB to capture all the footage and then put it into an editing software called iMovie, which was on the Mac. By doing this, I could edit my video and cut all necessarily footage out. This piece of software was essential for me to add into my text. I could speed up and slow down certain scenes. It also allowed me to add music and put effects on and transitions, and also text, and I could control the volume. Therefore, during construction, it was an important media technology needed to finish my trailer. So the construction work of my poster magazine, this involved me taking pictures and editing, which I planned. This is where I started to use hands-on technology, for example digital cameras and editing programs, as I could finally put my practice into my own ideas. For the magazine front cover and the poster, I needed to take images of what I was going to use. So when filming the film, I'd taken pictures at the same time to make sure that I had pictures, instead of using still shots from the trailer, which wouldn't have been as good quality. I took them on the digital camera and then uploaded them onto the computer. Then went through them all, selected the best images and opened them up, and then put them on a website called Picnic for my analysis product. I use Picnic to edit my pictures, which is a program on the internet, and it allows me to edit pictures. It was helpful to get the right lighting, colour and text onto the image. For the text, I use a website called www.urbanfonts.com, which helped me to add the main text, such as the title, the sleepover, for the poster, instead of doing this on Publisher, because it gave me a range of loads of different fonts. Also, by doing this, it gave me the text more freedom to move all the text around. I then print screened it underneath the tagline, which I also used Urban Fonts for, and just made it a little bit smaller. Picnic was a really useful editing website, and that's why I used my editing software on it. And I put it into publishing and saved it. So for the evaluation stage, as you can see now, I'm using Movie Maker, my webcam. I'm going to be using Paint to put all my pictures up, and Microsoft Word to type everything up so I know what I'm doing. I put it all together like a film so it can be saved and put on my website later. So overall, after looking over everything I have evaluated here, by combination of vast amounts of new technologies, I believe that my two ancillary tasks and my main product both work in challenging and using the development of real media products.